My name is Patrick Tucker. I am a student at Jefferson State, and I'm here at Reynolds Funeral Home with the owner, Dexter Elliot, who is a licensed funeral director. Hello, Mr. Elliot.
How you doing, Mr. Patrick?
I'm great. I just got a couple questions that would, in fact, help me to understand the business of funeral services. First question, for how long have you been a funeral director?
I've been a funeral director for probably, I have to think, for at least 14 years.
Wow, 14 years. So what are some of the mistakes or lessons learned in your profession?
Well, one of the mistakes I've learned is business is business.
Mm-hmm.
And though you may feel a necessity to be real nice to everybody and cut prices on things, at the end of the day, you got to pay bills. And so therefore you have to be a business person. You have to be a professional. And at the same time, you can't allow friendship to dictate your business, even with people who work here. You're the boss. People expect you to be a professional at all times. Mm-hmm. And you learn from that. Trial and error, you learn. But take my word, if you be a professional and you treat everybody the same, then you'll be a lot better off in the long run.
Okay. What are some great accomplishments you have achieved as a funeral director?
I think the biggest accomplishment I have achieved is taking the footsteps of my great predecessor, Jewett Cowan. She was very well known here, and for someone else to step into this job and get the respect of the community and carry on the dignity and respect for Reynolds Funeral Home was a big stepping stone. And I think that, even my funeral counts have increased more than it was when she was here. So I just feel like I just continued on the traditional excellence here at Reynolds. And that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
Great, great. What are some present goals as you talk about achievements?
Well, my next goal is to enlarge my building, to get a larger chapel, and then to hopefully at some point purchase a cemetery, and just continue to do that and be more involved in the community.
Okay. Okay. What are some tips that you would give incoming apprentice?
Make sure that you know that this is something you want to do. And do not do it expecting to become rich. I don't believe film directors become rich, but I do believe they make a pretty good, decent living. But you should never get into anything for money. If it's not in your heart, don't get into it. There's a lot of work that has to be done at school, and not only that, once you get out of school, these hours can sometimes be late, and families expect you to do it. Your phone rings all time of the night. So a lot of times you have to give up your family to service others. So I tell them to be aware of all these requirements before you get into it.
Good information. What have you noticed about the funeral service today versus when you started?
Well, I believe that today we have more cremations. Financially, you may not make as much money because we're not doing as many funerals, but most black firms continue in the tradition of more burials than cremation. And I also think that that's one aspect of it, and you still need to pay your bills and all that. So you got to try to supplement your income in various ways and cut down on some of your expenditures. That's important. Also, one thing I notice is there are more stipulations legally from the state funeral board. And I think that if everyone would obey the rules of the funeral service, they wouldn't get fined and all these other things. So I do feel like the state funeral board has gotten more strict, but they're only doing this because the funeral profession has diminished because we have a lot of people in the funeral business for the wrong reasons.
Good. What are some ways that you ensure safety for your employees and patrons that enter the funeral home?
Well, one thing, you need to read as much literature as you can on safety and use good common sense. So I talk to people about their driving, talk to them about texting and driving, and then I try to read on the OSHA rules. We try to know about bloodborne pathogens, using the right protections in the back, and just making sure that your employees are in a safe environment and that they practice on a daily basis their own personal safety from health and from germs and things like that.
And I noticed that you were showing me earlier about lifting techniques as far as back problems.
Right, you're a young man and you're going to need your back for quite some while. We don't usually get one back.
Right.
And so we need to make sure we're using our legs, using our muscles in our arms and not our back. Because in this profession, you find yourself lifting caskets, lifting bodies, and things like that, going on removes at the home where you're bending over, trying to get people. But we got to remember to try to protect our back and use the proper lifting techniques. And sometimes we may have to use a back support to make sure we do that, because you're going to plan on doing this for a long time.
Right. Good information. How do you keep up with your SDS sheet?
Well, if most of these companies, and the vast majority of the products I purchase is from Dodge.
Right.
Dodge has them online so you can look at them. And they also normally send them with you, sometimes with the package, but now they've gone to the online. And every product that you have is online. You print those out and keep them in a book, and make sure, and also you keep it in a PDF file on your computer so that you can review these things and know all the things you need to know for your safety.
So we do that here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. What was the overall feeling when you had when you first became owner of Reynolds Funeral Home?
Well, I was anxious to do it because I really thought financially it would change me tremendous. I'd have all this money. But then I came to the realization that once you become the owner of a funeral home, you start realizing there are a lot of responsibilities. There are a lot of bills that you have to pay. It's not all about what's coming in. There's a lot of going out. So to help you out, and for anybody else that's listening, I never had high blood pressure until I purchased this funeral home. Now, I don't know what significance that has, but it may let you know that sometimes there's a burden when you become the owner versus an employee.
Right. They say all the time, Grandma used to say, be careful what you pray for.
That's right. You might just get it.
Right. One thing I noticed about working here is your style of leadership. I noticed that you do a lot of directing as far as, giving different people in your staff different responsibilities that, unlike other funeral homes I've seen, you don't have to be the head person of the show. So what developed that technique for you?
Well, you'll find out delegation is very important. I can't pick up everybody. I can't work every funeral by myself. It requires teamwork.
Right.
And with teamwork, everybody has responsibilities to make it lighter on everyone. If you try to micromanage and run things yourself, you won't be very successful. I'm only successful because my staff is successful. And because of that, I realize everybody on your staff has strengths, weaknesses, and they have things that need improvement. And you need to work on improving their strengths and improving their weaknesses, but realizing what's their strengths. And then let them continue more on the things that they're strong in. There are some people, for instance, that are stronger at talking to families and picking up families at the house and bringing them to the church. There are some people that are better at coming out with a casket. There are several people that are better with just doing some of them better at flowers. So you find out which person is better at various things, even in the funeral home and other things, and you let those people work on those, and then you let them teach the other people what they know so that you strengthen them in that area, because guess what? If your business grows, you're going to need more than one crew. You're going to have more than one funeral. We've had that 2 or 3 on one day.
Right.
So if you only rely on one person, what's going to happen when you have 3 funerals? What's going to happen if that person's sick? So every time you go out, it gives you the opportunity for somebody on your staff to learn something and be better. Because guess what? If they're better, the group is better. And when your group is better, your funeral home is better. And that's really why we say we serve people from 1929 with the service of excellence. You got to try to do the very best you can for each and every family that you service. Don't ever let go of that. Doesn't matter what kind of casket they buy. It doesn't matter anything else they do. But your service is the most important thing. Even your competitor can get the same casket you get. They can get the same limousine you get, but they can't provide rental service. And you the only one can do that.
All right, that was wonderful talking to Mr. Dexter Elliot. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just think that you're doing a great job, and I think you're going to be very successful. And I just look forward to working in the future. And I know you're a great asset to me, and I know you're a great asset to Jefferson State.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, I enjoyed working at Reynolds Funeral Home. I learned tremendous amount of information that will change my whole aspect of funeral service. It was nice being here at Reynolds Funeral Home. Thank you for joining us and watching it. Enjoy.